Everybody ready
I'd like to call this meeting to order, please. All those able, please rise for the pledge. Mr. Mayor, will you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Brittany, can you do a roll call, please?
How about John Boyd?
Here.
Dan Emerko?
Here.
Mark Stroud?
Here.
Robert Collins?
Here.
Town Manager Tom Questrill?
Here.
And our Chair, Robert Bishop.
Okay. Please note this meeting is being recorded by Zoom for the purpose of taking minutes and by Dalton Cable Community Television. We are meeting in person to make this meeting available via Zoom for the convenience of the public. We will not be responsible for any technical difficulties. So if you'd like to be sure of participating, please attend in person. First thing up is minutes of February 10th, 2025 and February 24th, 2025.
I don't believe we have those ready.
Okay, table them.
Okay.
Okay. I'd like to move up 18A, anticipated executive session, to discuss a complaint against a public officer to first, please. So we can table that.
Okay. So that'll be moving to
I
first.
mean, yeah, does anybody have an objection to moving up first?
No, no objection.
What number is that about?
The first one under executive session.
18, first bullet point.
Wait a minute, I mean, can we do that if we're not in executive session?
Yes. We'll just
For the purpose of tabling it.
table that. We'll
Yeah.
table
I
that.
don't understand.
I make a motion we table 18A, anticipated executive session in accordance with General Law 30A, subsection 21A1, to discuss a complaint against a public officer.
For a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Abstain.
Okay. The public to address the board. This is a time when the public may address the board on any item listed on the meeting agenda and any issue or matter of the town. If you intend to comment on an agenda item listed on the meeting agenda, please do so at this time. We will not be taking comments from the audience when the item comes up for board discussion. The public address to the board segment will last no longer than 30 minutes. Each individual will be given up to 3 minutes. If you intend on addressing the board, we ask you to do the following. Please raise your hand to be recognized by the board chair. Please step up to the podium and speak into the microphone. Please identify yourself by name, address, or the company/institution you represent. Please address your comments to the board chair. Please make your comments concise and try not to repeat statements made by others. Discussion or debate on any issue may not take place at this time. The chair or the designee may answer questions on procedural matters. Okay, yes.
Lily Griffin, I live at 33 Florence Street. I would like to speak about Berkshire Concrete.
You can do that now, right?
Yes. Yeah.
We don't have a microphone this evening, but we're working on getting the room better set up. But for now, just go to the podium and speak from there, please.
Yes, as long as you
Thank you.
can.
I'd like to thank the Select Board for your letter to the Planning Board urging them to impose permanent conditions to solve the dust pollution from Berkshire Concrete's secret sand mine. But we need you to continue to support us, the neighborhood group, to ensure that all proper measures are imposed. This issue is far from over. I've been told to be careful. So now not only do I have to worry about my health, I also have to worry about my safety. I and my husband Ron chose to live in Dalton over 40 years ago when we bought our first home here. We were told that Dalton was the place to buy a home, that Dalton was the place to raise your children, a family town. That gem, our town, lost its luster. Please help it shine again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lori?
Yes. Should I go to the podium?
Yep.
Okay. Good evening, my name is Lori Martinelli, 488 East Housatonic Street, number 18. I want to just address for the search committee, number 12, I want to indicate I remain interested in that. I spoke initially on the March 10th, excuse me. I just want the board to know I'm still interested. But I'm really here to talk about our climate action plan. I'm on the Green Dalton Committee with several other people in this room. And we've been working with a consultant since last June, and we're about to release a preliminary review of our climate action plan. Our consultant will be coming to the select board on the 28th of April, we've scheduled, but we're having a preview here in this building on the 12th of April. So I'd like to leave you all with this really lovely flyer. Okay. And I'll be talking to some of you individually who have Facebook pages. Hopefully you'll let us get this on your Facebook page. Mark, I know you have a big following, so this will be a great way to get the word out. And we have free pizza. We're really attracting people with the pizza. So thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
anyone else? Yes, in the back there. Oh, Richard.
Me?
Yes, I didn't see you back there.
Actually, whoops. I just wanted to hand this because it's bold.
Thank you.
Can you read it?
Who's going to read it?
Hi, Richard Hull, 164 Greenridge Drive, Dalton, Mass. Just want a couple minutes on the concrete situation. First of all, last Wednesday they presented a preliminary plan for how to deal with sites if they move forward with construction, which is puzzling because I understand while the earth is bare, they're meant to be coming up with a plan to cover it so that it doesn't affect the neighbourhood while we're waiting for them to resubmit a permit, which they didn't resubmit a permit with the plan that they had suggested at the meeting. So the concern is that the next Board of Health meeting is 409, the next zoning Board of Appeals is 401, the next planning board is 416, and the next select board is 416. And the fire burn ban goes into effect 1st of May, which means everything dries out, the winds pick up, and if that's not covered while they're not able to operate, then there's going to be more sand going into the neighbourhood. And they've had notice for a few weeks now, and I don't know. I wonder whether the town manager is going to talk on this subject in his conversation, which is the next point. So there just seems to be a need for urgency because this permit process that they're going to have to go through isn't going to happen in 2 weeks.
No.
It's probably going to take months. So in the meantime, it needs to get covered. One of their suggestions was put matting over it. And also to leave the construction area for 2 months open. But maybe having to go back to them and say, look, in good faith, you've got millions of dollars over the years. You need to do something now to address it. And then once it goes to the permitting, then we can look at whether or not we can put things in place to make sure it doesn't happen in future, if that's what happens. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Dan?
You really need me to go to the podium?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm here with the, if possible, I may have a comment to make on number 12. Primarily, I was here to make comments as my, from previous positions I've had with the town concerning 18A. So, just to let the board know that there are things I would like to say about that. So,
Okay.
that's tabled, so I will see you the next time.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You want to let them talk about 12 now?
You want, Dan, talk about 12 right now.
If you can give your comments on agenda item 12 now, that would be
I
great.
was just, I wanted to see where you were going with it. Personally, I did not have an issue with the committee that was appointed. Okay. However, I've heard a lot of input from people here about other people having interest. And I just thought it would be important that we listen to the people of town and see what they need to do. However, I realized that it is historically the way the town has handled things like this is they have appointed people to be in a subcommittee. I know this in part because I often was a person in that subcommittee. Excuse me. I will say I've always seen, or thought I had always seen, either the treasurer or the accountant be part of that. Simply because when they're having that type of a meeting, they're talking to people about being in a position, town manager, accountant, treasurer, collector, they always have questions about how much do they get paid, what's the budget for the department, and having one of those two people in that committee help solve that issue because they had a person with the knowledge right there with that. So that's what I always thought it should be. But I'm happy to see the board is listening to the public and willing to talk with them about it. So,
Dan, one point of order, these, whoever's on this committee is not gonna be talking to these applicants. They're just reviewing them.
thank you. I understand.
Dan, no one's been appointed yet.
Okay.
There's
At one
still
point in time-
it's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
We're looking at all the applications and submissions, and believe the chairman will speak to that point, but later on in the meeting.
Okay. At one point in time, there was a committee
Yes, it was.
listed being, that's what I'm talking about. The 5 people that were on it.
No, no one was on the committee because there was no committee. We haven't appointed one yet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
There was,
We have established a committee, but we haven't peopleized it yet.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well,
Sorry, I didn't, my apologies.
I am done. You have no other questions for us?
Nope.
Thank you for the time.
thanks, Dave.
Anyone else?
We have a hand raised on Zoom.
David? Can't hear you.
You're on
You
mute.
need to turn your volume up. Nope.
No?
See if the volume's up on that. Just a second, maybe we need to turn our volume up.
Every time I turn the TV on, it's on like 50, so I automatically turn it down, so like, oh.
Try it again, David. Try speaking, David.
We okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to follow up on Lori Martinelli's comments on the the climate action plan presentation on the 12th. It's very clear that we're going to make clear that this is a proposed presentation and that the select board has not adopted it as yet, but it will be finally presented on the 28th. Hopefully the people from the select board will come to the 12th meeting so that that'll be an opportunity to discuss and ask some detailed questions that will kind of limit the time that it takes on the 28th to present this. If you have any concerns, please join us on the 12th.
David, what time on the 12th?
On the 12th, it's on the flyer that Lori.
12:30.
Lori's got the details.
12:30 is pizza, and 1 o'clock the program begins.
Okay, and where is that? Here?
Right here, right where you're sitting.
What day of the week is that?
It's a Saturday,
Saturday.
April 12th. 12:30 to 2:30.
Yeah, it's a chance for you guys to kind of ask questions and get into the gory details of the plan, rather than within a select board meeting. That will be on the 28th, and we'll be representing the same information, or a briefer outline of the information.
It's at 8 o'clock. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Okay. Town manager update.
Thank you. Town council reports that revisions to the Town Manager Act must be done by a ballot vote. I've asked whether we could also have the question at town meeting with the understanding that it would not become binding unless it were passed through the ballot question, so that we could have some discussion on the question at town meeting. There will be a pre-construction meeting on Orchard Road on Thursday. The Conservation Commission has been petitioned and ordered its conditions. The contract is ready to be signed, and the necessary prep work will be happening directly after that, including the submittals of specific orders to the town's design firm and the construction company obtaining those materials and mobilizing on site. I'm working with DOT to come up with an intermunicipal agreement with Pittsfield for advancing the Division Road project. This would pave the way for the rights-of-way takings, permitting, utility relocation, etc. We hope to use a similar agreement Pittsfield had with Dalton when working on a similar project. If we can't, I'll have town council draft one. I'm continuing to work with the Board of Health on air sampling for Berkshire Concrete. The request to identify silica from 2.5 to 10 microns is quite specific. DEP tested for particulates in general at that size, which helps, but it's more involved to get a silica count at that size. The health agent has been trying to find companies that can do that, and we now have 2 promising leads. I expect the Green Committee to just mentioning again the community presentation preview of the Climate Action Plan on Saturday, April 12th, here from 12:30 to 2:30. And that's all I have.
One question. When you asked the town council if it was permissible to have this as an article regarding the,
Town Manager Act?
the Town Manager Act, it was permissible to have an article at the annual town meeting for discussion purposes and then have it on the ballot question. What was his answer?
We haven't gotten that particular question resolved yet. I haven't heard back on that question.
Okay, well, you did present it to him.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thanks.
Is any other questions for Tom? Okay, moving along to appointments.
Yes, thank you. Is Lisa Hopsiker here in the room? Well, I don't believe so. Thankfully, she was recommended by the Council on Aging, and so I am presenting her for appointment by the board.
Excellent. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the appointment of Lisa Hopsiker to the Dalton Council on Aging Board. What are the effective dates?
To June 30th, 2025.
Okay. Effective upon appointment
Yes,
until June 30th, 2025.
yes.
Second.
And
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Lisa.
Before I make motions for the next appointments, when we get to each one, can you just clarify the dates, the effective dates? I just don't see them on the agenda.
yeah, absolutely.
Next one's a
Just an oversight.
Oh, yeah, that'll be easy. Okay.
Good.
So the next two items are just a little dance. You'll recall that when we were down an assessor, we also had an assessor with a unexpected medical condition. And so we only had one assessor able to sign necessary forms to submit to the state at a time when we needed to submit a form to the state. So I asked you, and you kindly agreed to appoint basically a temporary assessor, who was Carl McKinney, former town administrator of Clarksburg, also qualified as an assessor. At this point, we have someone else who can serve as a signatory, and I'll explain a little more about that after rescinding Carl's appointment.
And the rescission, is it effective immediately?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we rescind the appointment of Carl McKinney as assessor effective immediately.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
And the next being a staff appointment, I did not put on a expiration date on that.
Okay.
However, our outgoing assessor's clerk was slated to become an assessor for the town. She had a promotion, and I believe you have a letter of her explaining all this in your packets. She had expected to stay on as clerk and be appointed as an assessor, which is the way that we get people in that position up over 20 hours a week, make it a benefited position. It's a carrot we present for them to stay on and take the next higher position. She was promoted at her current part-time job such that she will not be able to continue as an assessor's clerk. However, she is also aware that it's good for a town to have 3 assessors. She's willing to stay on it 4 hours a week, which is what she would have been making as an assessor anyway. And so I'm presenting that proposal to you so that we continue to have 3 signatories in case one of them is unable to sign at some point.
Seems reasonable. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the appointment of Tristan Manzolini as part-time assessor, effective immediately.
Second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And finally, we've had a little bit of a shuffle in the Stormwater Commission. Tom Irwin has taken over as chair, and Brian Duval is still required by our bylaws to be on that committee. But he would be glad to give up the position of chair. So he has done that, and Tom is now the new chair of that committee, and he has brought from the committee the recommendation of both Robert Collins and David Martindale, both here, to be on that committee as well.
Okay. And what would be the effective dates, and is there an expiration for this commission?
Yes. Let's make it effective immediately to June 30th. If there are any variations in terms that I missed, we'll make that up in June.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the appointment of Robert Collins and David Martindale to the Stormwater Commission effective immediately until June 30th, 2025.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
I just want to make it very clear to the board and to the people that I realize this is in my wheelhouse and this is what my company does. I promise and agree not to bid on, nor shall I participate in any bidding or work within the town, within the stormwater scope. So there's to try to alleviate any conflict of interest. And I will abstain from voting on my appointment, just for clarity.
Should we do them one at a time?
I think so.
Okay. Take
I withdraw my motion.
I can do that.
Yep, it's that on my agenda. This was an updated one. Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the appointment of Robert Collins to the Stormwater Commission, effective immediately until June 30th, 2025.
Like,
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
Let's see.
Okay, and finally, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the appointment of David Martindale to the Stormwater Commission, effective immediately until June 30th, 2025.
like,
The motion been made and seconded. Is any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Hudson.
For item 9, 2026 budget planning and presentation. I did not have a record that I brought before you the Veterans Benefits budget. So I thought I would just clear that up.
Tom,
Yes.
I heard that. I'm on positive you did. We talked about the veterans agent, how the salary has been reduced by, and you know that, I entered an agreement with
Yeah.
Jim.
I thought that I did, but again, I couldn't find a record of it. So,
I think we did, but
I
anyway.
just brought it back.
Well, let's just do it one more time for good measure. Do you want to do any more narrative, or should I just get into it?
Changing from North Adams to Pittsfield as the host of our Veteran Services Officer is saving us a little over $11,000.
Okay. Very good. So this is the Veterans Benefits budget, set at $102,750. That is approximately a 10% decrease from prior fiscal year, $11,250 decrease. That would be a TA for me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Number 10, proposed town meeting capital and other warrant items.
I have the latest draft of the warrant before you. There are a couple of changes. The first is that I have, for now, removed the item calling for a revote of the a town revote to lead civil service. Chief Strout believes that we don't need it. Town council believes it would be prudent to leave it in and revote it, should the path that the chief is pursuing not pan out. We are waiting for written confirmation from the human resources part of civil service. If we do get written confirmation from them, then we won't have to, we can pass over the article. But just to be prudent and make sure that we're covering all our bases, town council's recommending we reinstate that warrant article. So that's the first, the major change.
Which article number is that again?
Oh, well, it's not on this one.
Oh, it's not on this one.
I
Got it.
had taken it off if the chief requests it. So it'll go on before the citizen petitions.
Okay.
Then finally, we have an additional citizen petition, which is a petition to rescind the stretch energy code in its entirety. The rationale being that it is no longer possible for houses to make up the additional cost over the courses of their expected ownership, and it is hurts making houses more
Expensive.
less affordable to buy.
Isn't this petition attempting to repeal and in place Massachusetts general law or regulation?
No. The town adopted the stretch energy code as part of its becoming a green community. I am also in the process of finding out what the effect of removing this would be. It would certainly remove our status as a green community. I don't know what that would, it would mean that we could no longer apply for grants under that program. I don't know what it would mean for the grant we already received. So I'm finding that out.
Be interesting to find out what the green committee thinks of this. But this is a petition article.
Yes,
Citizen petition.
so that's the other major change
Okay.
in the warrant. Aside from that, I think it's pretty well in shape. I did slightly change the what we agreed on last time for the senior center. We had talked about designing and installing an audio system. It turns out there is an audio system, we're just not using it. And I still don't quite know how to use it, but that microphone is a wireless mic. And there are a number of speakers on the walls that make it perfectly easy to hear someone anywhere in the room. So I have changed that to upgrading the audio system so that select board members can have
Individual mics.
individual on-off wireless mics as well. So we may need a new wireless router, so a new system like that, but we do have a system installed.
Excellent.
Good.
We'll look forward to hopefully that passing and upgrading the audio so that we can have more productive meetings. People can hear the audio, hear the board members speak, hear people who are presenting, as well as audience members being able to be heard by everyone. So I think that's wonderful. Thanks, Tom.
Any other point?
What's the deadline to approve and sign the warrant, Tom?
Well, I always like to do it relatively early. Your next scheduled meeting is not until April 14th,
That's too late.
which would be enough time, but I would rather have it done sooner. Some of it will depend on, I have sent it to town council for review. There will be some changes in it. I use some fairly insufficient language in a couple of places. That said, I don't think there will be too much change in it, and I think as soon as it's reviewed, it'll be ready to be voted on. We may be meeting between now and then anyway, and I can certainly work to make sure that I can certainly work to help us have this ready at that time. It would not be the worst thing if it weren't signed until the 14th. We do need 2 weeks' notice. We would have almost a month's notice. So it could be done on the 14th. I try to keep that as a kind of a fail-safe, hard stop date. But if it can be done at an interim meeting between now and then, that would be great.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Number 12, Town Manager Search Committee, search funds and related items.
And I'll just say, in the future, I think I'll change that to Town Manager Screening Committee to better reflect the language of the Town Manager.
Okay.
Good.
Well, we talked about hiring some consultants last time. Do we want to do that? Do we still want to pursue that?
I think one of the paradigm rules that just did Great Barrington and I believe it's and Adams. I think they may be a good group to go with because they already have a large number of applicants that were willing to move to the Berkshires. And let's face it, my understanding is that Great Barrington had 7 to 10, that they whittled down to 3. So if they had 7 to 10, that would leave us with an additional 7 to 10 to still pick from, and possibly more people maybe wanting a smaller town or opportunities that they missed the first time. The other groups, I'm sure, are very good. I just sort of feel that maybe sticking to somebody that already knows the Berkshires might give us an advantage.
Well, Tom, you want to handle this or you not?
Well, what those towns would have to do would be to get the consent of the people who submitted their applications to be considered by Dalton. I have a strong hunch that that not everyone who applied to Great Barrington would apply to Dalton.
Absolutely.
On the other hand, I think.
Do you have a firm that we should, you want to reach out to a couple of different firms and see who we want to go with?
I think North Adams will have to reach out to them. They're not public documents.
I think
No, I'm talking about different firms for consultants,
Search firms.
search firms.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Sorry. Yeah. There are 3 that come to mind, and actually one of them I didn't even notice on the town. I'd forgotten about the Common Center.
Okay, can you,
But I can contact.
can you do some research and at our next meeting, bring that back so we can choose one?
Sure.
Does that need to go out to bid?
I believe it would. Well, it would need to go out for quotes, I'll put it that way. So we could have 3 firms that we send a quote to and take the
Can you get
cost.
that done? Can you ask the quotes?
Sure.
Well, should we review the list that was provided today and
I'm a time of it.
Yeah, I think,
Can I suggest that
Community Paradigm, Municipal Resources, and the Collins Center are 3 standard
okay.
places.
I think when we appoint a committee, they should be maybe part of this process. So my suggestion is that, well, I think the chairman of the board is gonna propose is that, Monday night, we're gonna have a special meeting to appoint a committee. That will be the 31st. And then by the 14th, which will be our next regular meeting, you could have some material and suggestions ready, and you can explain them to us and to the committee members. Does that make sense?
So a week from today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd like to propose a meeting next Monday to appoint the search committee.
Screening committee.
Can everybody make it next Monday? We can make it at 6 o'clock, 6:30, anytime we want.
6 would be great.
6 o'clock?
Anytime.
Will we gonna have the applicants that wanted to be on that committee?
Everybody that I've been told, yeah.
Okay.
We'll form a committee and vote on it that night.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for the information.
Can everybody make 6 o'clock? Is that too early?
I can make,
I'm good.
Good?
Robert, you're good?
6 o'clock?
Bart?
Yeah, good.
All right.
Okay.
So this will be continued on the 31st.
Correct.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, future agenda items.
Yeah, actually, speaking of 6 o'clock meeting start times, I believe I missed the meeting. I don't know if this was discussed.
There was, we decided no, keep it the same.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, this is a special one. This is
I'm
not.
curious what the reasoning was, but this is the future agenda item topics. I don't want to discuss the actual item. That's fine. All right, well, if that was the pleasure of the board at that time, I imagine that was a 3-1 vote. Okay. All right.
Was actually a 4.
Oh, yeah.
I went good.
Okay. Fair enough.
Dan, what was the subject matter? I didn't hear, I was writing something down.
Changing the meeting time to an
Oh, yeah, we decided against it.
Okay, fair enough.
For the, comfort and convenience of the public, it seemed to be a better time.
It's fine. I didn't mean to discuss it. I was going to say we should put it on a future agenda item, but it's already been decided, so.
Okay, any of the future agenda items? Okay, items not anticipated 48 hours before the meeting.
I have nothing.
What? Remarks of the select board. What? I met with the Boy Scouts from along the town today, or the Cub Scouts, and they wanted to learn about government in town, so we had a good little chat. Okay. What else? Okay, this leads to the announcements. The town is seeking volunteers, including for its cultural council, responsibility for reviewing arts and culture grants proposals and approving projects. If you're interested in being the Dalton Housing Authority Board, please call Sue Gregory at 684-2493. For other volunteer opportunities, please visit the town's website. The Dalton Police Department is reminding the citizens of Dalton the winter parking ban, which is still in effect April 15th between the hours of 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. During this time, there will be no parking on the streets. Down at Dalton currently has the following employment opportunities: town manager, assistant for the senior center, interdepartmental assistant, assistant clerk, DPW seasonal labor. Please visit the town website or contact the town manager's office for more information. Dalton's official meetings, posted agendas, and minutes can be viewed at mygovernment.org/01226. The next regular select board meeting is scheduled to take place on Monday, April 14th, 2025. And the next special select board meeting is March 31st at 6 p.m. With that, yeah, what would be good for
Okay. All right. I'll just note we tabled the first bullet point in the executive sessions at the beginning of the meeting. Mr. Chairman, I move that we adjourn the meeting and go into executive session and not return to open session for, in accordance with General Law, Mass General Law 30A, Section 21A7, to comply with or act under the authority of any general or special law or federal grant and aid requirements, namely to review and approve executive session minutes of January 13th and January 27th, 2025, and in accordance with Mass General Law 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining, the highway, cemetery, dispatch, and highway foreman.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Mr. Boyd?
Yes.
Mr. Pascal?
Yes.
Mr. Stroud?
Yeah.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop, yes.